I'm late. I'm so late. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so late. I did not mean to be. I did not mean to be. But I am. I'm late. It's alright, though. It's alright, because we still here. We're still kicking it. Still held up my end of the bargain. Still held it up. What is going on, phone? What is going on? Why'd you vibrate? Why'd you vibrate out there? Oh, it's an email. Emails. What's going on, Christian? What's going on, guys? I am so late. So late. What up, Devin? What's going on, dude? What up, Mustache? What's up, the stream? What's popping, you guys? I am, like, unintentionally much later than I was anticipating. But you know what? We're still here. We're still here. We're still kicking it. What up, Joe? What's up, dude? I hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. Not late, just on time. I mean, I was supposed to go live like 2 hours ago, but I had a whole bunch of stuff I had to take care of tonight, which you guys will see bright and early in tomorrow's video, because that'll be an exciting one. That'll get some emotions going. Brooklyn, what's going on, dude? Keely, what's up? The Lou fam. What do I think about the Faction Fab FL for my 2020 STI gonna buy tonight? What is the FL? Faction Fab FL? What is FL? What's good, Schmeeds? What's good, Brandon? What's going on? I hope everyone had like a killer Thanksgiving also. So happy like late Thanksgiving to everyone out there as well, because hopefully everyone got to spend it with their families or their friends or do whatever they wanted to do. But Faction Fab FL, absolutely no idea what FL. Beer? No beer, just coffee. I still have orders to pack and ship tonight. Totally spilled coffee down the side of my cup. It's whatever. But no, unfortunately not. What up, TMB? How you doing? How you doing, my friend? What's going on, everyone? No beer. No beer, question mark, unfortunately. I got work. I got stuff I gotta do tonight, man. Everything's always popping. Everything's always busy. There's always things to be done. What 3-inch exhaust do I recommend with little to no cabin drone for Wrxs? NVIDIA Q300, the Cobb setup isn't bad either. R400 isn't bad either if you want it to be a little bit louder when you start getting into the revs a little bit more. But the R400, Q300, Cobb, the Grimspeed one isn't too bad either. I haven't heard any drone at all like ever come from the Grimspeed setup. It's pretty solid. Pretty solid. NVIDIA N1, I mean, I used to get a little bit of drone from my old NVIDIA N1 setup. Solid 3-inch catback exhaust. Does get a little bit louder. It also, like, depends on your header, up pipe, down pipe setup also if you're going to get drone or not. But resonator will definitely help. Giovanni, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Sergio, what's poppin', dude? What's poppin', my man? How's everyone doing? Everyone kicking it on this Saturday night? Chilling? Chilling. I figured I'd hop on for like 45 minutes to an hour or so, kind of hang out with you guys for a bit. Just got done running a ton of errands, and like the office is a complete mess right now. It's like everything's just thrown to the wind right now. But exciting stuff. Exciting stuff is happening tomorrow, so keep an eye out for tomorrow's video and the few coming right after that one as well. Lots of exciting things are about to happen. Hopefully, at least. I mean, I think they're exciting. I find them very exciting. So hopefully you guys are on there. Also, Austin, hello. What's going on, dude? Anthony, what's better, single exit or quad? I run NVIDIA N1, but I like the quad look. Honestly, it depends on what like your style preference is for exhaust setups. Personally, I prefer quad tip also, depending on what the car is. If it was something like the BRZ, that one looked a little bit better with a single exit than a quad, I think. But if you're looking for like a which one's better, I mean, honestly, it boils down to style. I mean, you can make them sound differently with resonators, mufflers, catalytic converters. So, I mean, the sound aspect will change with each one. But as for styling, single versus quad versus double, it kind of depends on what you like visually. Yes, please. What up, Sergio? What do I think of Nuketown 84? I remember you saying I haven't had time to play Xbox in the past like 5 days. I know they released like the Call of Duty update back on like Tuesday or something like that, so I haven't even played it yet, but I'm sure I'll get wrecked on it as soon as I go in there. Wait, is it still Friday? It's still Friday here. It's only 8:17 p.m. Friday, November 17th, so it is still Friday where I'm at. Nuketown is good. Hey, What's up? Happy Black Friday for car parts. It is Happy Black Friday also to everyone. Hopefully everyone has anyone snagged any good parts today, taking advantage of the Black Friday sales. Unfortunately, I have not. It is what it is. But hopefully you guys are able to like snag some solid parts for your guys' cars with all the deals going on right now. I think they kind of roll through Cyber Monday also. I think Cyber Monday is still a thing. I'm not entirely sure. What up? That is right. Have Black Friday. Quad looks better, but single, maybe for weight. The titanium exhausts are going to be a lot lighter for single exit if you're looking for that. I don't know too many like quad exit titanium exhausts if you're trying to reduce weight or anything like that. But I don't think a lot of people are really trying to pull weight off of their exhaust unless they're actually trying to shave seconds off of a lap time or something like that. But for the most part, it is what it is. Donald George, how you doing, man? How are you doing, dude? I'm doing solid. Can't wait for the STI build. Yeah, so I'm going to be ordering the ECU on Monday, which is actually really exciting. So the EG33 is totally paid for at this point. I owe Outfront Motorsports $1, and that's just to keep the PayPal invoice open so that way they can tack on shipping once they're done with the motor. So the EG33 is totally paid for at this point. For those of you that are curious how much money it costs to fully build an EG33, I think that the final bill came out to $9,036 or so. And remember, most of that money came from parting out the EJ257, selling the EJ, and a ton of other fun stuff that got sold also. But EG33 totally paid for at this point. We have all the fuel system stuff here. The ECU is getting ordered on Monday. So once the ECU gets here and we get the motor back, we can start getting the motor dropped in. Then we can start wiring the ECU, splicing into the body harness, splicing into the EG33 harness, a whole bunch of stuff. Ton of stuff is going on. Also, like I believe I said it in the last stream, got all the oil pump stuff ordered to be able to rebuild the EG33's oil pump. Still on the hunt for a timing belt setup for that car, but once I get the timing stuff in, I mean, I'll probably drop the motor in without having all the timing components on there, and we can just install all of the timing components afterwards. But a lot of EG33 stuff is starting to pick up now, which is nice. Hopefully JE or CP, I don't even remember who's building our pistons at this point, but hopefully whoever is building our pistons gets those done relatively quickly so that way we can get this motor going, because I want to get that STI like rolling again. I'm tired of having it sit in the garage. Double XP, it is double XP weekend on Call of Duty right now. What oil did you run in the old EJ STI? When I had the EJ and the STI, I primarily stuck to Motul 5W40. I like 5W40 oils a little bit better just because they have a little bit better of a heat rating as compared to 5W30 does. But 5W30 is also a solid oil if you're looking to stay around stock parts on the car. You're just looking to keep your car pretty much stock. You said Saturday. I said Saturday. Saturday. Faction Fab FLs. The Lou fam. What do you mean by FLs? I don't know what the FL is. Is that an abbreviation for something? Faction Fab F, is that FIs? I don't know what the abbreviation stands for, my friend. I'm sorry. I bought a PC. Hey, congrats. I need to get a actual PC here in the future because as much as I love having this Mac setup, it works. It works well for editing, but that's pretty much all it works well for. Dude, I got my new turbo installed on my STI with Flex Fuel. I'm on revision 2 on an E-Tune. All is good. Ooh, that sounds fun. What turbo you end up going with? Don't even want to try to pronounce your name. Photo LLC. What turbo you end up going with, man? TMG walk-in tomorrow. What's going on at TMG tomorrow? I didn't get an invite. Brian always invites me. What's going on at TMG tomorrow? I got a Street Series AOS from the Black Friday deals. Ooh, IAG. I'm guessing it's IAG's V3 Street Series is what you ended up like snagging. I know a lot of companies are having a lot of deals right now. I know Cobb is 10% off across the board, and everyone else is doing anything from like 20 to 30% off from what I've seen. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of those if you have been eyeballing anything for like the past couple months or so. I'm going to TMG tomorrow for the big sale. Is there a big sale at TMG? I don't have money to spend at TMG anyways. Hopefully you guys have fun up at like TMG tomorrow though. I might swing by if Brian's not too busy. I might go say hi to him. I got a white line 24mm rear sway bar for 185 bucks. It's actually a pretty good deal. I was going to get an access port, but the Stage 1 Plus package is better for savings. You're totally right. Those bundled packages that Cobb sells are pretty much the way to go for that stuff. Bud, are you going static with the STI? No, I am not. So the STI, when the time comes, which isn't for a ways out, the STI is going to be on Fortunato Air Cups. So it's like the best of both worlds between coilovers and bags. It'll be a nice, refreshing setup on the car, so that way I can still daily drive the car. The goal for the STI is to make it a daily driver car that I can take to the drag strip, that I can take to a time attack course, that I can take to an autocross setting, just by adjusting the suspension setup, which the air cups will definitely come in handy for that. But the all-around goal for the STI is to be able to make it do everything, absolutely everything. Bought a Stage 1 Plus package pitch stop mount and Crawford AOS. Gonna throw my wallet away. I have no money. I totally feel that. I totally feel that, Austin. But you were able to snag some solid parts, so I mean, you can't be too upset with that. Test drove a 2018 STI last night and sent it right off the lot. Did 0 to 100 test as soon as I hit the road, and I think I made the salesperson shot his pants. Didn't end up buying though. Why? Why didn't you end up buying, Christian? What's going on? Sounds like it was a solid test drive. Sounds like you scared the absolute hell out of your salesman too, which is always a plus. Always a plus on that one. Almost pulled the trigger on an access port. Well, pull the trigger. What are you doing? Get the access port. Snag it. Grab it. Be it. Be the access port. Be the ball. Be the ball. Yo, brother, smash the like button. What's going on, DJ? How you doing, my dude? How you doing, my friend? But still got warranty through 2021 of June. Okay, I don't blame you. Okay, I don't blame you on that one. Did my FP Blue Turbo. Love the power. Where do I go from here? From 600 horsepower pistons or whole new block? I do have 30K miles on the block, whichever will be cheaper. I think IAG is doing 10% off of blocks right now if you're looking for a short block. It's pretty much the only savings that you're going to get on short block all year round if you are looking for that. But, I mean, you could obviously go the route of buying rods, pistons, building it yourself at home, sending everything out to a local machine shop to have it all resurfaced, be good to go. So, I mean, it kind of boils down to how much money you want to spend on that one. If it were me, I would probably just build my own short block instead of just buying one from like IAG or someone like that. I'd probably send mine out to Outfront again. Outfront's probably going to be my go-to for any Subaru motor stuff that I have to do from here on out. I've talked to Jeremy on the phone extensively for like an hour to an hour and a half, like, what was it, a week and a half ago. Super cool shop. They're very understanding. They're very like down to earth also, which is what I love about a lot of shops out there. But kind of boils down to how much money you want to spend, my friend. Yo, brother, what's going on, DJ? How long did you let the oil drain? And how long after that would you expect the new oil to go black? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I mean, it also depends on the car, but for the most part, I mean, you could see oil go from looking brand new to looking black within like 100, 200 miles, depending on how the internals or the inside of the motor looks and how much contamination or carbon is actually being filtered in the oil. It's going to end up changing the color of it a little bit. Also, depending on how much of the old oil you get out and how much of the new oil like cross-contaminate with one another, like it's not going to be anything detrimental, but the color of it's going to change like relatively quick, so I wouldn't be too concerned on that one. Cobb 20G. The Cobb 20G is actually a pretty solid turbo for those looking to stay under 400 wheel horsepower. It is a pretty good stock location one. It was the IAG V3. IAG V3. I haven't looked into the differences between them yet just because I haven't bought one and I don't really have any intentions of buying one. But I might look into it later. Pronounced Bushido. Oh, okay. See, I wouldn't have guessed that unless you like spelled it out for me like that. I am like awful at literature. It's awful. Cobb, you're right. Cobb only does 10% on access ports. What performance mods should I do next after access port and intake? That entirely depends on the car. If you are a 2015 plus WRX or actually if you're any WRX out there, I would do a downpipe next. If you're a 2015 plus STI, at that point I would either start focusing on saving it for fueling mods and then doing fueling mods with a downpipe and an E-tune, or focus on mounts and some suspension stuff, only because you can't run that intake downpipe combo on a Cobb OTS map, unfortunately. If you're ever in Houston, we have a huge Subaru community here and would love to see the new STI setup. If I ever bring the STI down, for sure, Mind Detergent. What is the name? Name a couple of the Facebook groups out there, because when I lived in Louisiana, I was part of a lot of the Houston... Oh my god, there's someone yelling outside. I used to be a part of like the Houston Subaru groups back in the day, but I don't remember the names of any of them. I actually, what was it? If you're in Houston, you know what I'm talking about, though. I've been to a couple of the big events that they have down there at the Subaru dealership. I don't recall what dealership, but I've been to a couple of them. It was like big events 6 and 7, I believe. Where do y'all go to dyno? Up here, I go to PRE. Well, the STI is going to be going to PRE Racing only because they're the only ones with experience with a flat 6 and Haltech Elite 2500. But if you're down in like the northwest area, like I am, Cobb Surgeline, PRE Racing, English Racing, In Front Motors are all really good shops to have your Subaru tuned. If you are looking for Subaru, they do a lot of other cars also. Just kind of depends on what you're working with on that one. What lowering springs would you recommend on a 2020 WRX Limited? I need recommendations, please. I don't know crap about... look at the RCE Yellows. They're actually a pretty popular lowering spring that are actually pretty comfortable, and they totally don't break the bank either. And if you're looking to snag them tonight, I bet you they got deals going on also. How much did I pay How much did you pay for flex fuel? I'm guessing tune and then gas pump. So when I paid for the tune for the STI, we did a flex tune. We did a pump gas tune, which was 92 octane. We also did an E85 tune, and then we just kind of overlaid the maps to make them commingle with one another rather nicely. When it came to the pricing for that, I think I paid $1,200. I think it was $600 a tune to have Surgeline Tuning do that. They're a super awesome shop though, so I didn't mind paying a little over $1,000 for it. Some other shops out there will charge more, some will charge less. It all depends on where you go and how many tunes you're actually getting. Is an access port worth it? 100%. So you need an access port to pretty much do anything with Subarus nowadays. Most tuners, I'm going to say 90 to 95% of them use a program called Access Tuner. Access Tuner works with your access port. So as your tuner is tuning, they have Access Tuner up. They load the maps onto the access port via Access Tuner, and then that's what you need to be able to tune the car. So even if you're not doing OTS maps or anything like that, and you're going to get a dyno tune or an e-tune, you're going to have an access port to be able to do it. Plus, you get all the benefits of being able to monitor everything, clear engine codes, view engine codes. It'll launch control, the whole kit and caboodle. It does everything for you. So yes, I do think an access port is worth it. How hard was the oil pickup install? Ordered one today. OG Grandma TV, set aside an entire day for that. If you're doing the Killer Bee oil pan windage tray and pickup and the motor is still in the car, just set aside an entire day for it, because it's absolutely awful to get it off. You're gonna have to take the headers off, you're gonna have to undo the motor mounts, undo the transmission mount, jack the engine and transmission up maybe like 3 inches if you can, to be able to get to the back 4 bolts that hold the oil pan to the block. It is a huge pain to do. It's not too bad getting the bolts out. The thing that sucks is getting the bolts back in. It's not fun by any means. Ever tried using 0 to 60 in the quarter mile on the access port? I have, and it is not accurate at all. It's just not accurate. I've never gotten an accurate reading off of that thing. Planning on getting an access port and catted downpipe for my 2019 STI. Is there any access port? Okay, access port and catted downpipe for my 2019 STI. Is there anything else that would benefit this setup? An air oil separator is never a bad idea. Cylinder 4 cooling mod is also never a bad idea. Just stay away from doing that intake and downpipe combo unless you're going to be doing fueling mods, just because I would hate to see you run lean and detonate in your engine, and that's just going to make a whole mess of things that no one wants. But for the most part, an air oil separator, and you're pretty solid. Gonna torque my bolts with elbow grease. I've done that before. I give it a couple ugga-duggas. I look at it. I'm like, that's tight. And then I move on to the next bolt. Do I think the Recaro seats are better than the regular WRX STI ones? I think they look better, but I wouldn't pay the extra price for them. I've sat in a couple of them before. I didn't like the bolstering on them. I like pretty aggressive bolstering if I'm buying a more sporty seat. I don't think that the extra, $2,000 from Subaru for those seats is worth it. But they do look a lot better. I will say that. Those seats do look a lot better. Boss, recommendations on FRS clutch. I'm on a SBD Turbo, 260 foot-pounds of torque. Didn't want any clutch chatter. Looking at South Bend Stage 2. Thanks, sir. Disabled Iraqi war vet. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service, my dude. So I would stay away from competition Stage 3 clutch. That's what I ran in the BRZ. And it's awful. It's not fun, especially whenever I sit in traffic with the car. It just chatters the entire way if I'm just like slowly trying to move up. I know ACT is a very good brand for like daily drivability for BRZ, FRS, GT86, all that kind of stuff. I haven't used it in a WRX or STI before, so I'm not so sure about that platform, but I know at least for the GT86 chassis, I would definitely look into ACT just because they have been one of the best feeling clutches that I've driven before. So I'm looking at doing a muffler delete on 2018 Race Red Focus RS. Ooh, I've been considering Focus RSs for a long time. They're interesting cars. I've driven a couple of them. They're fun. I've always considered like snagging one. But muffler delete, two broke. I mean, I did muffler deletes for a long time. There's nothing wrong with muffler deletes. They're a cost-effective solution to get some sound out of your car because that's why most people buy catbacks, is for the sound. Not like maybe 20% of people are doing it for like performance aspects later on, but for the general like populace, most of us just buy catback exhaust for the sound. If you're just doing it for the sound, axle back, totally a good way to go. It was a solid test drive, but it didn't have all the bells and whistles I wanted. I totally feel you on that. When it comes to picking out a car, don't be afraid to be picky. If you guys are going to buy cars and you're looking at a car, buy the car that you want. Don't settle for a car unless it's like a really good deal, and obviously that's something else. But for the most part, hold out for the car that you guys want. Don't settle for a car that's like is good enough. Don't get the good enough. Totally feel that though. Plan as a Cobb, access port, and SF intake. That's actually a pretty solid combo for a daily driver. You're just looking for like some more induction noises, maybe like a little bump in power, but it wouldn't be a ton. Problem being is that I'm in California, so the question is, do I know an easy way to be able to swap back to the stock exhaust when it comes to, I mean, even swapping exhausts really isn't too bad. I mean, even if you're just doing it with an axle backs are pretty easy to swap, but even catbacks are pretty easy to swap also. What is it? It's 2 bolts pretty much and like 3 exhaust hangers. The catback comes off. You can put the new, like the stock one back on to go get smog tested. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like catbacks and axle back, you're gonna have more bolts to swap out with an axle back for the most part. If you have like an actual dual Y setup coming off, I believe that the Focus RS just has a 2 bolt that goes to a muffler that then splits off. So either way, you're only looking at like 2 bolts and a couple of exhaust hangers swapping back and forth. What type of shops do I look for to find a place that does walnut blasting? Do you know Surgeline? Do I know if Surgeline does it? I don't think Surgeline does walnut blasting. I know the Mod Garage does walnut blasting if you're up here in Washington. If not, Subaru does offer a slow induction service. So what it is they hook up this chemical feed to the intake, and it slowly feeds through the intake track, and it goes in, and it just helps clean off all of the carbon buildup on the valves. I don't know how much they charge. I don't know what the chemical is, but I know it works. Also, appreciate the dono Bushido Photo LLC, a retired Air Force dude modding my STI for track days, voided my warranty only after 1 year, but hey, who cares? That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate the dono, my dude. I void my warranties way too quick with all of my cars. It's just, life is short. If you go out and you get a car, enjoy it. I mean, obviously, don't like completely throw like all your reliability in the trash. If you can't afford to fix something, if it breaks, then obviously be cautious with it. But also, if you guys are going out and you're buying all these cars, you're like buying WRXs, buying STIs, BRZs, Focus RSs, Audis, whatever you guys are buying, like enjoy the cars. Like that's something that I didn't do when I was like in my early 20s. Is I didn't enjoy my cars as much as I should have. So I mean, go enjoy your cars, you guys. Then save for stage 2 Killer Bee headers, equal length, the Grimspeed up pipe, Cobb down pipe, and a Pro Tune. Hey, that sounds strikingly similar to my old setup on my STI when it had the EJ in it. Is tinning your taillights illegal? Haven't found a definitive answer. Honestly, it depends on the state you're in. Most states will, if the officer wishes to issue a citation for it, is illegal because you are inhibiting the amount of light that can travel through the lens, and you are changing the DOT approved taillights or headlights that were made from the factory. So I mean, if a cop really wanted to give you a citation for it, they could. I've never been cited for it on any of my older cars, but since then I kind of went away from like tinning taillights or anything like that. Just do it at your own risk. Some cops will cite you, some cops won't. Really, my oil is at 2K miles and still close to golden brown. That's good. That's good. That's some solid oil. That means like you got clean oil going through there. There's not a whole bunch of gunk or contaminants grabbing onto your oil. Might need to rob a bank to cover all that. Hey, you know what? We gotta do what we gotta do. Just don't get caught. Don't get caught. And for legal reasons, that's a joke. That's a joke. Is a Spec D a good aftermarket headlight? So whenever it comes to aftermarket headlights, I'm guilty of this. I've been recently guilty of it with the STI when I bought those Subi Speed headlights. Any aftermarket headlight that you buy that is not custom using OEM housings is pretty much going to give you issues at some point. A lot of them are depot headlights. Depot headlights tend to leak over time because they don't use a butyl rubber. They use something called a permaseal. Permaseal just happens to fail a little bit quicker, and it's a huge pain to go through there and try to fix. When it comes to opening up any type of headlight that uses permaseal, you have to use a chemical injection that Mishimoto makes. It's what I've used in the past to open up permasealed headlights, and it's just a pain. Spec D, Spider, all those headlight taillight companies, you're going to get moisture built up in your headlights. You're going to get wiring that might short things out quicker than it should have. If you really want a good set of aftermarket headlights, send your stock housings out to like Circuit Demon or someone. Have them build it. Yes, I know it's expensive, but it is totally worth it. Do I know any good tuners in Idaho? Personally, I don't, but if anyone else in here is from Idaho, help out Brandon over here, because I don't know any tuners in Idaho, unfortunately. I know Dominic Isa from Get a Dom Tune is over in Eastern Washington. So, I mean, if you're close to, like, northern Idaho and you can just jump the border to come into Washington, I would definitely look into doing that, though. Juan, appreciate the dono, man. From Jersey, born in Costa Rica, love your videos, 15 STI, Dino 2 coming in January, full bolt-ons, wish me luck. Hey, follow up with how the tune goes, man. I always love seeing how your guys' tunes go whenever you guys post them on Instagram. You can tag me in them, you send me them in DMs or anything like that. I love seeing your guys' cars go up on the dyno, so feel free to send over any videos. It always makes my day. It's always nice. Also, once again, my man, appreciate the dono. Always appreciate the donos, my dude. My chat box just jumped again. What are some good places to find a 2018 plus STI? I totally feel you on this one, Andrew. I've been like scouring the internet for cars the past couple days. I've been using Auto Tempest, Auto Trader, Google Search, Carfax, whole bunch of different websites. Mainly I just go to Google and I type in what I'm looking for. But for the most part, just go to Google. Hopefully that helps. You could set like a location parameter so that way it only pulls up search results that are near you. But I feel the struggle. I feel the struggle on that one. ETS or NVIDIA catback for Wrx. I am biased. I'm going to say ETS just because I have an ETS on the STI. ETS has a really, really good quality set on their stuff. NVIDIA does have a really good warranty program, though. I will give them that. I used to have an NVIDIA N1 on my old 07 STI. The welds on it snapped, and they sent me an entire replacement catback for free. It was awesome. So, I mean, either option is a really good option. Personally, I just lean a little bit more towards ETS and NVIDIA. Arden Wolf, what's going on? Good to see you, dude. Haven't seen you in a while. My friend. Mind Detergent. Space City Subies on Instagram. They're active daily on their page. They post all of the meets here in the Houston area. I don't think that's the one that rings a bell. I don't know. It might have been from you. It was from years ago. It was like 2013 when I was down there. 2013, 2015-ish, I want to say. Just wanted to pop in and wish you well, Coach. I appreciate the non-camping, non-pet-based Subaru advocacy you push. Thanks for all the badass videos. Hey, appreciate it, John. Always appreciate the feedback from you guys. I try to be as honest and upfront with everything, not try to push any, like, fake crap or marketing stuff, because I hate it when companies do that, and I'm watching videos and they try to, like, push all this stuff that I know I wouldn't buy or I know that they wouldn't fully support or things like that. What's the difference between catted cables exhaust resonated? What do you mean? I'm guessing that's supposed to be Catless. So if you Catless, yeah, right there. All right, so catted versus Catless. If you are not external wastegate, you are going to want to stay with catted. You are going to experience boost creep with Catless, so that is going to be the definitive factor on if you're internal wastegate or external wastegate. As for resonated versus non-resonated, it's really just going to help kill a little bit of the drone in the car. Obviously, the car is going to be louder with a non-resonated catback. But I mean, it all depends. Do you want a little bit of drone for noise? It's kind of a trade-off there. It's up to you on that one, though. Flip of a coin, whatever you want. IAG, AOS, and Cylinder 4 cooling mod are highly recommended. I also put a Koyo radiator on the car and a larger intercooler, also one-step cooler, NGK Iridium spark plugs. By the way, I also served in the Air Force. Like I said, my dude, always appreciate the fellow veteran support from everyone out there. Thank all of you guys for your service as well. Also, if anyone is wondering, those NGK spark plugs, if you guys are looking for those are going to be NGK 2309 spark plugs. If you just Google those, they will come right up, and you should be solid on them. Those are my go-to spark plugs for any of my Subarus that I've had. I got negative 2.81 backslash 0.70 during a watt. My 16WX, should I be worried? No. Those are totally normal parameters. Anything, you're going to see negative 2.81 all the time, negative 1.40, 0.70. Those are going to be like super common values that you guys are going to see when driving. If you see them, don't be worried about them. If you guys are really seeing your feedback knock, fine knock, learn, go crazy, and your dams start to drop, that's when you should be worried. But for the most part, you're going to see negative 2.8 all the time. Do I think blue with white wheels are overdone or not? Have you seen my Subaru before it was wrapped? It's blue with white wheels. I don't think it's overdone at all. I think it looks good. I think it looks good, and who cares if it's overdone or not? If you like it, do it. It's your car. It's your car. You're the one who's going to be enjoying looking at it the most. You're going to be driving it every day. If you want to do blue with white, do blue with white. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Watching from Jersey. I can honestly say I've never been over to New Jersey. I've never been over there before. Love your vids. Appreciate it, Juan. Appreciate it, my dude. Fine knock, learn. LOL, sorry, man. Oh, same answer applies to that. Can I still install external wastegate with stock turbo or turbo that has an internal one? Yes, you can. So, what is it? Cobb, Grimspeed, and a couple other people make an internal wastegate bracket that kind of keeps the internal wastegate shut, so you can go external wastegate on a stock turbo. So you can totally do it. Is the cylinder 4 cooling mod recommended for 15 plus WX? No, you do not need it. The FA20's cooling is a lot better than the EJ's. Plus, you don't even have a port to plug it into, I believe, so it's not needed. Don't buy it. 15 plus WX is FA versus EJ, and to the best of my understanding, don't need cylinder 4 cooling mod. That is correct. DAC has got it. Equal length header helps a lot with cylinder 4 cooling. They do. They work really well with one another. They are not interchangeable parts. I see a lot of people ask, do I still need to do a cylinder 4 cooling mod if I get equal length headers? One of them fixes exhaust. One of them fixes coolant flow. So I mean, they're two totally different things. One does not correct the other. What's up? What up, Drew? Greetings from the Great White North. What's going on, dude? 2 questions. 1, English. I read that as an English flush. Engine flush, yes or no? Worth changing from Cobb SF to ETS titanium speed density intake? I don't think so. No, I don't think it's needed. I don't think it's necessary unless you really want to. As for engine flush, it's never a bad idea. Typically, I'll like flush my... I'm always doing something with the cars where I have to flush coolant anyway. So, I mean, my coolant ends up getting flushed like every 5 to 10,000 miles unintentionally. But if it's like a car that I haven't flushed coolant on, typically like 80,000 miles is when I do that. Diff and trans, we'll throw that one in there also. I typically do those around 20 to 25,000 miles because they get hot and that oil likes to break down quickly and it gets gross. Engine oil, obviously 3,000 miles. Power steering fluid, I mean, not really a reason to change that one out unless you have like power steering fluid leak somewhere, but for the most part, no need to. Just those basic maintenance aspects, I guess you'd call it. Thoughts on silver Neo coilover or Neo Max coilovers? I've personally never ran them. I have been in a car with them before, and they don't feel all that bad. I've never installed the set. I've never been up close and personal with the set, so just like being in a car that had a set on them, they didn't feel bad. I liked them. As 8K spring rate comparing to stock ones, looking forward to upgrading. Is 8K spring rate comparing to stock ones? Is 8? I don't understand the context of the question. Are you like trying to see like how 8K springs feel versus stock springs? Because there's going to be a noticeable difference, but it's not a bad one. Not a bad noticeable difference. It's going to help stiffen things up a little bit. It's going to help with absorption from road debris, road noise, road potholes, stuff on the road. Thanks for the knowledge. Also, good to hear that you're a fan you're a fan of all vehicles in the all-wheel drive tuner class. I love all cars. I mean, there's some cars that I don't think there's a single car that I hate. Actually, there's not a single car that I hate. There's a lot of cars that I want outside of Subaru. It's just a lot of them are very expensive, and I'm always on a budget. I'm always B.O.B., balling on a budget. If I had like an unlimited resource of money, I'd be all over the place with more than just Subarus. I promise you guys that. Mark, what's going on, dude? Hey, just started watching your videos a month ago when I bought my 16 STI, browsing Naziak and found your build thread. Nice to see you live. I tend to go live 2 times a week. For anyone that's new to the streams, we do live streams every Tuesday and every Friday, typically around 6 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But tonight I was a little bit late. You guys will find out why in tomorrow morning's upload. It's an exciting upload for tomorrow morning. You guys don't want to miss it. It's a huge announcement to the channel. It's something I don't think anyone was expecting. I'd send my headlights to you if anyone. I mean, I am currently not doing a set of headlights, so if anyone does want a set of headlights modified, I have an opening for 1 person. I just changed the factory brakes on my 2016 STI. I noticed that only 1 pad for each rotor has a sensor. Is this how it comes from the factory? I believe what you mean by sensor is the little metal tab that comes off of the brake pad that hangs down near the rotor. So when the brake pad starts to wear, that little tab touches the rotor a little bit and it makes that awful squeaking noise. Yeah, only 1 brake pad on each side should, because the pads should be wearing evenly. So as the pads wear together, that little shim should come down and rub against the rotor. There's not really a need to have it on both sides. Unless your car is like unevenly wearing pads, which I've also seen done. I just got my 2010 narrow body sedan. Super clean so far. Congrats on the narrow body, Gavin. Narrow bodies need love too. Personally, I don't think I'd ever buy a narrow body, but the narrow bodies need love. Love the narrow bodies. Do you think websites like Vroom and Carvana are overpriced? 100%. So I was looking on Carvana for the next car that I'm buying. All their prices are way overpriced. I refuse to buy from them. Plus, they won't even... I can't even buy a car from them because I'm not in California. They said the closest Carvana port near me is in, I think it was like San Diego. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. But I do think they're overpriced. I think they're extremely overpriced. I've never heard of Vroom though. What do you think about the faction? What are FL? Is FL just the brand for coilovers? For 2020 STI for everyday driving and no track runs, the FL... Oh, FLs are there. All right, we're going to look at this. We're going to look at this because I don't know what Faction Fab FLs are. Faction Fab FL coilovers. We are going to take a peek at them because I have no idea what they are. I've never used these before. Apparently, they're out of stock, though. Introducing the new Faction Fab FL coilovers for the 15 Plus WRX and STI. What do we got? We got camber plate adjustment. I'm not watching your video, Subi Speed. I mean, honestly, just looking 32, they look like your standard like run-of-the-mill coilover. I've never used these before. I've never driven on them. I didn't even know what they were until you brought them up. But from all their features, they look like your standard run-of-the-mill like BC BR Racing coilover. I don't know if the 612 is like it is a sale price. I don't know what their normal price is. But I mean, they look pretty quality. Like I said, I've never bought them before. I've never used them before, so I can't give you an accurate representation of what I think about them. But for the price, they don't seem bad, especially for a Black Friday deal. Space City Subies is here in Houston, but really big Subaru community. There was a Facebook page. It might have been Space City Subies. I have no idea. Maybe if I go on like my Facebook and I go to Space City Subies. And I look for like old posts of mine in there, I might be able to find them. But that might have been it. Might have been it. Fox, yo, what's going on, dude? What's going on, Fox? How you doing, man? You sell your car yet? Have you sold your WRX yet, my friend? Is the Beetle swapped and ready to go? These are answers. These are questions I need answers to. Why does my 04? I'm just joking, by the way. I know you're not going to be swapping the Beetle for a while. Why does my 04 WRX have rev hang? I said this a few weeks ago, and you said I have never seen rev hang on a GD model before. I've never seen it. Unless it's like a 4EAT transmission. I haven't seen it. I know you said you never experienced it before, so I really try to shift right and still bump the revs and the gas. Maybe it's the tune that you got on the car, Christian. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I've never experienced a GD model with rev hang before. Does 240 horsepower and 310 torque for a 2007 Stage 2 WRX on Mustang dyno sound right? My car is very torque happy. Is this normal? So yeah, I've seen a lot of Subarus in the past be very torque happy. My old 08 STI was very torque happy. For some reason on a Mustang dyno, that car only made, what was it, 317 horsepower and like 380 foot-pounds of torque. I have no idea why it was torque happy. I have no idea if the dyno was calibrated properly. But I have seen some pretty torque happy Subarus in the past. Matt's Outback is pretty torquey also. That car makes 397 horsepower and like 400 and like I want to say like 460 foot-pounds of torque. So I mean, I see a lot of torque happy ones out there. It's nothing like out of the blue from what I've seen. What's a solid price for a good Pro Tune? I've seen Pro Tune prices go between like $400 up to $800. So I mean, there's a pretty wide variety in there. You're going to be paying for the tuner's experience also. So depending on how many years of tuning experience that tuner has, might justify their price also. How do I feel about Sti Wings on Wrxs? I have no problem with Sti Wings on Wrxs. I have no issue with it at all. It's a styling choice. It's a functional wing. Like, don't get me wrong, the Sti Wing is a functional wing. It's definitely not for everyone, but I have no issues with people putting Sti Wings on the Wrx. It's not my car, it's your car. If I had a problem with it, I wouldn't put it on my car. If I had a problem with it, I might still put it on my car. I don't know. I put an STI badge on the BRZ. I'm not one to talk about putting STI Wings on Wrxs. Do you recommend waiting to get the new STI or just buy the 2020? Honestly, I cannot give you a solid answer on that because none of the specs on the new STI have been released yet. So only because we are still in the dark and the unknown about what the new STI is going to have equipped with it, I would say get the older STI, the 2020, 2019, something along those lines, just because you kind of already know what you're going or what you're getting. Ben, what's going on, dude? It's popping, man. How's it going? Oh, I'm gonna butcher your name again. Balenci? I think I got that one. What's going on? It's popping. Where do you like to buy your car parts from? So I typically buy all of my parts from three places. The Mod Garage, only because I can drive up there. They pretty much always have whatever I need in stock. If it's something like specialty that they don't stock, I'll order it from like Rally Sport Direct or the like manufacturer directly. Or if it's on Amazon, I'll typically order it from Amazon also because Amazon has some pretty good prices on a lot of the parts on there. Even like when they're not doing sales, their prices typically beat out a lot of the other companies do. But I only really do that if it's a huge savings. For the most part, I try to support a lot of these companies like the Mod Garage, Rally Sport Direct. Like Rally Sports Direct isn't really a smaller company, but I try to support a lot of the smaller shops as much as I can, especially with everything going on whenever it comes to ordering any parts. But I'm also out there to try to save some money too, just because I'm always balling on a budget, so I can't go out there and buy like the max price on a part just to support a company. But for the most part, that's pretty much where I get them all. Thoughts on dual clutch auto transmissions. I've been doing a lot of research on aftermarket applications lately. I actually have never looked into dual clutch automatic transmissions before, only because I've never really piqued my interest too much. I will have to swing back around with you on that one, Fox. I will have to do a little bit of my own research before going into that debate. So Tuesday's live stream, let's talk about that one. The worst engine ever made is the Oldsmobile 5.7 liter 350 cubic inch diesel V8. I'm gonna take your word for that one, Ben, only because I can't think of like a completely awful engine quite yet. But if I get one that swings around, I will definitely throw it out there to combat against your Oldsmobile 5.7 liter. I'm debating between Cobb and Carboy short throw shifters for my 19 STI. What is my recommendation? Thanks. I've had both. I absolutely hated the Cobb double adjustable short throw shifter. I ended up pulling it out of my car a couple years ago. This was in the 08 STI. I pulled it out of the car and I put it in a Cartboy just because I couldn't stand the Cobb one. It rattled, it made way too much noise, and it felt like crap. The Cartboy ever since then has always been my go-to. It's a singular piece, so that way there's less moving components, less chance for things to rattle, less chance for things to vibrate and make extra noise. So Cartboy is always my go-to for that modification. Cartboy or Boomba if you have a newer WRX. Good night, my dudes. It's 11:45 in Toronto, Canada. It's Z time. Peace out. Have a good night, Sergio, my friend. It is a little bit late. Like I said, I was a little bit late to tonight's stream. And like I said, you guys will see why tomorrow. I have a tough choice. Saving up for Legacy GT, but now I've been looking into the BMW 335i. What are your thoughts? Honestly, if it were me, I'd rather get a BMW 335i than a Legacy GT. I love Legacy GTs. They're awesome cars, but with the amount of Subarus that I've had in the past, I would look into the BMW. Especially like the older 07 335i's. If you're looking for something that makes power, those things make power so easy for a car. Just like a tune, a couple bolt-on parts, and they rip. Those things rip. Personal preference on that one, I'd probably swing towards the 335i. Oh my god, chat jump. Yep, East Coast gang, that's what I'm talking about. Anthony, what's going on, dude? Good evening, bro. How you doing? I'm pretty chill. I'm chilling. Bad news. I think my clutch is starting to slip. Hit the gas. I'm getting on the highway. RPMs went up to redline speedometer. I feel like I saw a post on Facebook today that was pretty similar to that. I may have seen that. If you posted on Facebook today, I might have seen it. But that happened to me. If you are looking to swap out the clutch, the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to pull the motor, do it that way rather than drop the transmission. The transmission is heavy. I don't like, if you don't have access to a lift, definitely consider pulling the motor to replace the clutch rather than dropping the trans. It's definitely a lot easier. Have I heard of the EE20? I have not. I have no idea what that is. No idea what that is. Faction Fab has FR spec FLs. See, I'm glad someone else knew what was going on there, because I was still lost on that Faction Fab thing until I looked it up. 105 horsepower for a 5.7 liter diesel. How much torque does it make though, Ben? I'm curious on how much torque it makes. I want to know how much torque that motor makes. I run the FR spec Faction Fab coilovers and lover them. Their coilovers are great for the price. Hey, see, there we go. There we go. There's some testimonials there for the Faction Fabs. What's wrong with the stock STI struts? I think they have plenty firm and awesome ride height. They're definitely awesome. I believe it's either a S209 or Type RA that you have Neutron Performance. I don't remember off the top of my head. But for the most part, I mean, a lot of people just like the adjustability of coilovers, being able to lower, adjust camber, dampening settings, and all of the good stuff that goes with them. But for the most part, the stock STI struts and springs, for daily driving use, if you're not looking to really lower the car or anything like that, it's definitely a solid thing to keep in the car. Does front mount intercooler really cause noticeable lag? No. No, it does not. I mean, it's primarily going to depend on your turbo also, to how long the turbo is actually going to spool up. I mean, obviously, if you have a massive turbo, it's going to have some lag because it's going to take a while for that turbo to be able to start spooling up. But for the most part, if you're looking at like a standard stock location turbo and you have a front mount intercooler, you're not really going to see a lot of lag. It can be adjusted a little bit during your Pro Tune too. When I just had the FP Blue and the ETS front mount intercooler on my STI, I noted there was zero lag on the car that I could feel. Some people are going to argue and tell you they're going to be able to feel lag. Unless you're actually going out and driving your car with those modifications on them, no one's really going to be able to give you some solid feedback. So that one is entirely driver preference, but from what I had, no, I didn't notice any lag with my setup. Made some financial moves to make it easier to offload the WRX earlier in the week. Still need to finish going through my RX-8 and have something else to drive after the WRX is gone. Trust me, Fox. Trust me on this one. I totally know where you're coming from. Has anyone ever attempted to do a 5.7 Hemi swap on a WRX or STI? I don't think anyone's done a Hemi from what I've seen. I've definitely seen a handful of LS swapped STIs and WRXs running around in the past, but I can't say I've ever seen a Hemi swapped in there. I'd definitely be interested to see one though. I got the FL spec coilovers from Faction Fab. Love them. More testimonials. They sound like solid coilovers. Hope everyone else helps answer those questions, because I did not have any experience with those ones. Someone on TikTok is swapping a V10 and a GC8. A V10 from what? From what? How is Depot downpipe quality in comparison to a Cobb? Depot makes downpipes now? I thought they just made headlights. Cannot confirm, but if their downpipes are anything like their headlights, I probably wouldn't suggest them. Also, with the new motor and whatever comes with it, the first couple of years of the new STI will be spent working out the kinks. 100% agree with that. There are definitely going to be some kinks. There's probably going to be some TSBs. There might be a couple recalls with the new STI when it comes out. It's just typical Subaru fashion throughout the years. If you look at whenever they make like changes to a motor, they come out with a new motor. There's always something that needs to be fixed or corrected over the first 1 to 3 years, like time span. So if you are waiting and holding out for the new STI to come out, just expect some TSBs. They might not be bad. They might just be annoyances. Some of them could be bad. I have no idea. Time will tell on those ones, but keep that in mind. If you are waiting for the new STI to come out, you may experience a little bit frustration with like TSBs, that kind of stuff that comes out. What are my thoughts on the Grimspeed Limited J-Pipe versus Cobb catted resonated J-Pipe for the 15 plus WRX? Running R400 catback currently, and also love the channel, dude. You're a real one. Hey, appreciate it, my man. If you're looking at Grimspeed or Cobb, both of them are honestly really good options to look at. I've ran both Cobb and Grimspeed downpipes in the past. Honestly, whatever one you can get for a better price is the one that I would suggest getting. They're both quality. You can't go wrong with either option. Is Import Image a good place to buy parts from? I have no idea. I've never ordered from Import Image Racing, so I cannot confirm. Cannot confirm on that one. Also, is my assumption correct that it's likely 100% Anthony, it is going to be your clutch. If your RPMs are increasing, but the car isn't actually going any faster, that is going to be your clutch slipping. The friction disc is just not able to hold anything else at that point, so you are going to have to go in there, probably do a new flywheel or resurface your old flywheel and get a new clutch. If you are going to be swapping it out, though, consider a lightweight flywheel. It's always a good addition in there if it's a daily driver. How much horsepower do you think your new setup on the STI will have? The goal is 1,000 wheel horsepower. The motor is built for 1,200 wheel horsepower. So we'll see. We'll see how much power it makes. But from everything that I've been speccing out, that I've been ordering, the car will be capable of 1,000 plus horsepower. I have absolutely no idea where torque is going to land for that engine once it's in the car. I'm going to guess somewhere between 700 and 800 foot-pounds of torque. Horsepower is going to be around 950 to 1,000. That's only going to be on the kill tune. I will not be on that tune like 100% of the time. It's going to be broken down into 3 different segments. I've talked about this before, but the first one's going to be around like 500. Second one's going to be around like 750, 800. Last one will be like full send 950 to 1,000. Someone's doing a 5.7 liter Hemi swap in a 1979 Mitsubishi Galant. Ooh. Ooh, keep me updated on that one, Ben. I'm curious to see the progress on that, and if he has like an Instagram page or something like that where I can follow the build, let me know. The worst engine is the Peel P50 motor with its 4 horsepower, but if they put a bigger motor in, it's probably would. 4 horsepower. That's a lot. That's a lot of horsepower right there. Can I come over to install some parts? I have no room. What do you think I got room to spare? I'm running out of engine. I'm running out of garage space out there. What clutch would you recommend for a Turbo BRZ? Honestly, ACT. I would stay away from competition. I'm not a huge fan of the competition that's in my BRZ. It's awful for daily driving whenever it comes to like traffic aspects. If you're just cruising around town or you're jumping on the freeway or you're like consistently moving, it's a solid clutch. The competition is a really good way to go, but I would definitely look into ACT. ACT is probably going to be the best feeling clutch that you're going to have for a daily driver. Hey, what's going on, Eric? Hey, what's going on tonight? Smash that like button, everyone. That's what I'm talking about. The EE20 is a diesel boxer Subaru Euro. I will have to look into that one a little bit. Unfortunately, the Facebook post was me. I'm sorry to hear, dude. It's not enjoyable to swap out a clutch, especially on Wrx's STIs. Like I said, the best way to do it, just pull the motor out. Pulling the motor is always a lot easier than dropping the transmission in those cars. They're heavy. They're not fun. You got to pull out the front half shafts. There's a lot of gear oil that goes everywhere. Best of luck. Best of luck, my friend. Hopefully it's a smooth correction. No thumbs down on this video. That one guy must be busy tonight. You know, somewhere. I don't know. There's always that one. Can't please everyone. I can do my best, but I'll never be able to please everyone. Well, I leveled up again. I see that, dude. Moved to the yellow badge. I need to make some custom badges or something. I might do that later this weekend. I held myself back from buying parts for the Wrx today. See if drive shaft and headlights were tempting. I mean, it's not too late. It's not too late to still grab those if you wanted to. But I don't blame you. Did you experience having a hard time getting into gears with the Cobb short throw? I didn't have any issues getting into gear with the Cobb short throw shifter. It's just I didn't enjoy the way it felt. Was never a fan of it. Why Killer Bee headers cost more than double than other brands? You're paying for the name a lot of the time with Killer Bee. Killer Bee is very, very high quality parts. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Killer Bee parts. Killer Bee is an awesome company. I've worked with them in the past. But you're paying for quality and you're paying for the name with Killer Bee Motorsports. ETS for a lot of their exhaust stuff, if you're kind of comparing apples to apples with like headers. They're pretty much on par, Killer Bee and ETSs. You can definitely get cheaper ones like HKS and other ones out on the market. But at that point, yeah, I mean, there's obvious quality differences between the two of them. I was going stage 2 plus. Off the bat, bad for the engine. If it's a brand new 2016 Wrx, no, dude, you're solid. Send it. Stage 2 plus. You're killer, man. Do it. Import Image Racing is great as well as Rally Sport Direct. See, there you go. Did you blow your STI? MA Performance got good deals on clutch. I did not blow my STI. I blew the clutch on my STI and then I pulled the motor and I sold the motor. If your RPMs go but your car isn't going faster, you might have a Civic. I mean, that is also a Jimmy, I see your typo, but for some reason it blocked it, so I fixed it. Alright, unblocked it at least. Any experience with Drive Auto Sports in Everett? I don't have any experience with Drive Auto Sports. I've never been to Drive Auto Sports. I've had a couple people go to Drive Auto Sports, and then they ended up going to get tuned elsewhere. I don't know the whole details. I can't speak on if they're a good shop or a bad shop. I have no idea. I've never been there. I only know like word of mouth through other people that have been up there. Am I doing a single or a twin turbo setup on the EG33? EG33 is going to be a single turbo setup. It's going to be... If you guys have seen Vatterbilt's STI, the turbo location on his is going to be very similar to the turbo location on the STI. It's going to be a Precision 7262, I believe. It's a massive turbo. I've got it like listed out on my notes on my laptop. But it's a big turbo. We need a lot of room to fit it, and that's probably going to be your best location for it. It'll feed right into the ETS catback that I have on the car already, so it'll be solid. But it'll be a big single turbo Precision 7262, I believe. I cannot make up my mind. Grimspeed or ETS front mount intercooler. Honestly, I don't know what Grimspeed intercoolers cost right now, but we can take a look because I don't know. Grimspeed front mount intercooler. Let's take a look. I would buy ETS. I would buy ETS. ETS is a little bit cheaper than Grimspeed. That's on sale too. MSRP is $1,600. It does come with a crash bar though. I don't know. Personally, I'd buy ETS. Like I said before, I like ETS's stuff. Nth Level Entertainment, what's going on, dude? How you doing, man? Finally catching the lives again. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, my dude. ETS, ETS. Yeah, everyone else saying ETS. Brandon, I'm gonna head off tonight. Can't wait to check out the new video tomorrow. For real, it's a big video tomorrow morning. Big changes. Big changes happening. Big changes. You guys will like it, I think. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. Just remember, sacrifices have to be made. Back from TikTok. The dude's name is 802 Garage. Oh, 802! I know 802 Garage. I talk to him all the time. He's on the channel. He's a subscriber. He swings through videos every now and then. I will definitely have to jump on his channel and go check it out. I have not seen it. I don't know if he's doing it on his YouTube or just TikTok, but I definitely know 802 Garage. The Mitsubishi Galant was sold in the United States as a Dodge. That's true. It was like a multi-platform car. Definitely curious to see how a Hemi swap would go in that thing if he does it. In that it is looking funny in the car because it's so big. You know. Have a good night, bro. It's beer 30 in time for Nuketown 84. Good luck on Nuketown. Hopefully you don't get spawn killed, my friend. What's my favorite shift knob for the 2015 plus STIs? Personally, I like the Cobb knob. I like saying Cobb knob a lot. B, it's a pretty comfy Cobb knob. Nuke was good. I second that smash button. 50 plus people in here. That's what I'm saying. Smash it. What was the clutch you recommended for daily driving? ACT, they have like a Street Series lineup. I would definitely go check them out, especially with like Black Friday deals going on. You might be able to get one for a lot cheaper than you normally would. Pro Tune versus E-Tune is basically the same thing. So an E-Tune is a Pro Tune. A Pro Tune is just a generalized term for all tuners. So you could have a street tuner who's a Pro Tuner. You could have a dyno tuner who's a Pro Tuner. You can have an E-Tuner who's a Pro Tuner. It's all the same thing. They're all just umbrellaed under Pro Tune. Would I consider a Wrx or an STI a good car to daily drive, especially me living in a busy city environment, LA? Would you still recommend the car to me? Honestly, I had no problems. If it's like a comfy, like somewhat stock STI or Wrx that you're daily driving and it's a manual, by all means, totally fine. The thing that I started to not like about mine in the past is when I was daily driving them with like a staged clutch in there, and I'd have a lot of clutch chatter driving in traffic and things like that. Just stop and go traffic is always the worst part, but as long as you're fine with stop and go traffic in a manual car, you'll be totally fine. Is Catless a bad idea for a daily? Not necessarily, but if you haven't seen the Catless versus Catted video, I would definitely go check that one out. Catless is primarily going to be for external wastegate setups, and Catted is going to be for internal. How long should I keep my Stage 1 tune? How a 2014 Wrx, don't plan on doing much more in Stage 1. Throw it on there. If it's just a Stage 1 tune, you should be totally fine. Just make sure the map notes that you're using match up with what you got going on with parts. I'm not a fan of the Subaru short throw shifter. It sucks at shifting it hard. The OEM short throw shifter is trash. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's worth the money from Subaru if you're buying a brand new car. I would definitely opt for like a Kart Boy or something along those lines. Catless isn't bad, but downpipe will be bad. The downpipe itself won't be bad. Like I said, go watch the Catted versus Catless downpipe video, and that should answer your questions regarding that one. Any chance your opinion on AF learning on the FA20 and what were a good number? I know 0 is where you want. But I'm seeing 15 on idle. Any thoughts? I haven't looked too much into AFR learning on the FA20 platform. But on Tuesday's stream, if you swing back through, I will definitely look it over a little bit in the next couple days, see what I can learn about it. And then we can go over that one a little bit more. See? Subaru BRZ or WRX? I mean, they're two entirely different cars. I like them both. They're just two cars for two different purposes. What's my favorite sounding engine besides a Boxster? 100% the RB20. The RB20 is the smoothest and best sounding engine out there. It's a small displacement 6-cylinder, but it sounds so good. I do miss my old 93 GTST Type M. That one was RB20. It was just a smooth sounding engine. It sounded so good. Have I revealed what car I'm getting yet? No, I have not. You guys will see it. You'll see it come to the channel. You see it happen. What's my opinion on the charge speed vented fenders? Good for heat reduction. In theory, yes. I don't know if there's any like actual analytical stuff behind charge speeds testing for the vented fenders. I know in theory they should work, help extract a lot of the heat from the engine bay. So in theory they should work. Sell me your splitter, please. What do you mean? Just go buy one. It's Black Friday. You can get one for a better deal than what I'd sell you mine for, just because I don't want to take it off. I like the sound of my 3000 GT VR4 with the tandem exhaust. That is on mine. That is also a pretty good sounding engine. Can axle backs improve performance at all? They're pretty much purely for sound. You're not going to see any gains from just doing an axle back. It's just removing the mufflers and swapping it out for muffler deletes, essentially. Passing somebody today in the Walmart parking lot with a Subaru Impreza with fender skirts, the rear of the car, and playing roll wire wheel covers. Interesting. I haven't seen like too many Subarus out recently. It's been weird. Boomba? If you're talking about Boomba short shifter, 100%. I love the Boomba short throw shifter for the FA20 setup. It's awesome. It's what I used in the past on both of my FA20 DIT Subarus. They're awesome. Boomba's the way to go on that one. Do I have an opinion on OTS tunes like from Ambot or Fatboy through an intake on and just waiting? Go check out the OTS tune video I have. That should answer all the questions you got on that one. OTS tunes are OTS tunes. They're generalized tunes made for a car to use absolutely anywhere in the world. They're going to have their drawbacks. I go into like super detail about OTS tunes. Like 8-minute video on that one. Go check that one out. OTS should be good with Cobb products. OTS is just a generalized term also. OTS can be made by anyone. I know MA Performance has their own OTS tunes. Ambot, Fatboy, they both have their own OTS tunes. So anyone can make an OTS tune. What's your favorite type of shift knob? Weight and shape. You want to know what shape I like to grab onto? This is getting a little weird, but I'm totally down for it. Like I said, Cobb knobs. I like the Cobb knobs. I don't need a super heavy shifter or anything like that. It feels good in the hands. It feels solid. Can't go wrong with it. What stops making me an AI? An AI that both can log, tune your engine for the best performance. What stops making an AI? Artificial intelligence. I missed something there. Sometimes you guys abbreviate stuff. It's just a boo. No idea. I remember when I was watching your channel for a guide on basic bolt-ons. And now I've got 475 wheel horsepower and a built motor. It's a slippery slope. It is. I've gone down the rabbit hole way too many times. But I love the rabbit hole, and I just keep throwing myself down it. What do I think about the Tomei RM7960 bolt-on turbo? I've seen it. I've clicked on it. I've never bought it. I've never looked too much into it. That's about all I know on that turbo. It's a good-looking turbo. It looks good. Bro, love the channel. But can you, for once, not wear a hat? You want me to take my hat off? You want to see my bald? I'm balding. Look at that. I'm going bald. Why do you think I wear a hat all the time? There, the hat's off. I'll leave the hat off for the rest of the stream. I feel naked and weird, but it's alright. Hey, does the 2018 STI have the sub in the rear deck? You can opt for it from Subaru. I know it's an option from them. but I don't think it comes with it from the factory. I know mine has it because it's a Harman Kardon system, so it has it in the rear deck, but I don't think all of them come with it. Watch the new car be a Yaris with an engine swap. I have already gone down the Yaris route. I'm not going back down the Yaris route. I used to like that car was dangerous. It was dangerously boring. I like me some RB20s. That's what I'm saying. One of my neighbors has a mint Fairlady Z. I stare sometimes. I wish I could have I wish I could have like a 280Z or something like that. They're just like crazy hard to find, crazy expensive. But I totally don't blame you. RB20s, incredibly smooth sounding engines. I absolutely love the RB20. Grimspeed J-Pipe for the 2020 WX. Anything good? Heard good things. 100%. We talked about the Grimspeed J-Pipe earlier. 100%. I love the Grimspeed J-Pipe. It's an awesome downpipe. They make a lot of really good exhaust components. That is one thing I will give Grimspeed. Grimspeed makes a lot of good stuff. The only thing that Grimspeed doesn't make good is their air oil separator. That's the only thing from Grimspeed I tell people to stay away from. Does Throttle become more sensitive after stage 1, or is the ECU just getting used to the tune? So your Throttle's going to relearn. So as soon as you go to flash a new tune on there, the car's going to go through an ECU reset procedure where it has to relearn all parameters from idle, throttle input, everything. So it'll get better after you initially do a retune. But when you first do a retune, it's going to feel like straight trash. I have the GS catted downpipe. That's what I'm saying. Man, I think I'd expect Tanner to get an RX-7 and get into rotaries. I'd love an RX-7. I'd love a rotary. Way out of my budget right now. I am buying a new car. Unfortunately, it won't be an RX-7. It's too much money. I can't afford one right now. So hopefully later down, maybe like 6 months to a year, we can definitely get an RX-7. But that is a car that is on my to-do list. To get at some point, because I love weird engines, I love rotaries, I love flat engines. I've played with rotaries in the past. When I was in the Army, our aircraft used a rotary engine to fly. It was awesome. Beanie Man, that's what I'm saying. Balding. Thoughts on WRX CVT? Not a huge fan of the CVT. They can handle around up to like 320 wheel horsepower. Then they start to throw a little bit of a tantrum. But they are a very good option for people who, A, don't know how to drive a manual, don't want to learn how to drive a manual, maybe daily the car and they want an automatic. So the CVT is a good option. It's just not a good option for like high horsepower builds. Will you go to the next Cletus and Cars event the next time you hear about? I mean, I'd love to go to a ton of events, but like everything's like shut down right now. It's awful. It's annoying. Which, I mean, it's not going to get into that. Can stock intercooler handle flex fuel? Do I need a new top-mount intercooler or verticooler? I would definitely suggest one. Swapping out the intercooler. I mean, if it's a WRX top-mount intercooler, they're pretty restrictive. If it's an STI one, you can get away with running flex fuel on that up to around 400 wheel horsepower. But then at that point, you're really going to want to start swapping out that intercooler to either a front mount or a bigger top mount. You are balding, man. Actually, it looks fine, dude. It's starting to... Man, I used to have solid hair. I have a friend that by the time he hit 22, yeah, that's how my buddy Eric is. Eric's been on the channel. He's actually like bald. Says he wants an RX-7 and wants rotary. I mean, I do. Who doesn't? Who wouldn't want one? Recommended oil for 2017 WRX. Thanks for being a treasure trove. The Motul EFE, it's like EFE X Clean is what I would definitely suggest for the 2017 WRX. I believe it's 5W30. I tested it on the channel with Blackstone Labs also, and Blackstone gave a pretty solid report back on it. So definitely use the E Clean. I believe it's E Clean or it's X Clean. It's one of them. Once you have a rotary engine, you either hate it or learn to love it. I mean, I can learn to love anything. Let's get weird here. The FA20 DIT needs API SN Plus rated oil. I use Pennzoil Platinum, not Ultra. There is also another solid oil right there. Alright, I am hopping off for now. I'm going to do a stream tomorrow night. After you guys see tomorrow's upload, I would love to see some of your guys' feedback from it. So, tomorrow night, 6 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or I might be a little bit late if I'm going to do the thing that you guys will learn about tomorrow. Yeah, another live stream tomorrow. So I appreciate everyone swinging by tonight. Hopefully everyone's able to snag some good Black Friday deal stuff. If you guys are wanting to snag any merch, everything on the store is also on sale right now. I will throw the website in the chat if you guys want to. I've already pre-saled everything, so you don't have to enter any discount codes or anything like that. Channel members, you guys have discount codes if you want to like further discount things. But I'm going to be hopping off here tonight. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's upload. It is a big one. And with that, like I said, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Happy Black Friday to everyone. And I will catch you guys